Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to yet another installation of Draw With Me. Now, contrary to popular belief, you don't actually have to be drawing, I don't know, are you cleaning? Are you painting? Or whatever? I feel like I have said the same intro every time, but whatever, look, guys. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm pretty tired. It is, wait, let me set the tone for you, okay? It's 11:28 p.m. Today is it's Thursday. Today is Thursday. Oh, and looking at my calendar, I realized again the new Spider-Man movie comes out tomorrow. But we'll get to that later. It's July 30th, 2026, 11:28 p.m. That being said, I'm a little tired. Today was a fun day, packed of the huge. Everyone asks me, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "Oh, the huge." What's that? I have a whole routine. Okay, I have a whole schedule. But yeah. Anyways, sorry. Bear with me. I'm kind of tired, but you know, I'm very much enjoying doing these draw with me videos. It's somewhere where I can just like ramble on. Hey, I like that song. I forgot about that song, but I can just ramble on. We can chat. We can sit down. Just two friends. It's a one-sided thing, but there's a comment section. I don't know, but yeah, I just want to chill today. I just want to chill. Sometimes I get really excited and I start talking really fast, and then I'm like, all I get all worked up, even if I'm happy about something. But yeah, so just chilling today. But I like having somewhere where I can just chat, ramble, because I don't really talk. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I don't talk to anybody like out loud a lot. Like my mom, I just say hi and bye. That's pretty much it, unless my sister calls me. She calls me sometimes, but that's pretty much it. And so sometimes, like, I'll go out into the world. I'll go somewhere, like, I don't know, order food or something. And even, like, depending on where you go, you order on a kiosk, so you still don't talk to people, but, like, I don't know, Subway, And I'll get up there, and this happened one time. I get up there. It's like 6 o'clock, okay, so it's dinner time. And I start to talk. I'm like, oh yeah, can I get? And then I was like, oh, clearing my throat because I realized literally hadn't said a peep to anybody all day. It's crazy that happens sometimes. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is the first time I'm talking today, and I've been awake for 5 hours. It's crazy, but it was definitely not that it's a bad thing. I mean, sometimes I'm a little like, okay, let's go talk to people or something, but that subway story, that's I was on the road, and it was more happened way more then, because I'm not even saying hi or bye to my family or my mom or whatever. So it happened a lot then, but yeah, so I just like having somewhere to chat. Also, you know how like if you're really excited about something, or you enjoy something, you like talking about it a lot, at least for me. Okay, I could talk about certain things. I could go on and on and on and on, around and around in a circle. And I don't, I feel like I annoy people sometimes. Like if they're not also interested in it. I could talk for hours about movies and how they make movies and stuff like that, and like just stuff that I like. I feel like everybody's like that. Like obviously you enjoy it, so you could talk about it for a long time. But yeah, I like having a place where I can do that, and I hope you guys also enjoy whatever it is I'm talking about. I'm assuming that's why you're still here at this point in the video. But um I'm sitting here. Yeah, let me continue giving my what's happening in this scenario. I'm sitting here at my makeshift desk, and I have a protein. You can't really call it a protein shake, because what defines a protein shake? Is it that it's shaken up? Because if that's what it is, I didn't shake it, I stirred it. So is it a protein stir? I have a protein stir here, and it's if you're new here, been calorie counting. I'm eating about 1,600 calories a day, and doing that and also trying to hit a protein goal is difficult sometimes, and it's difficult used to. I'd just be like, oh yeah, we gotta hit the calories, be in a deficit, whatever. But now that I'm trying to build muscle and everything, I'm like trying to hit this goal every single day, and I'm just not used to it. And so it's just taking a little bit of getting used to. And I saw a video, I think it was, what's that guy's name? Is it Terry Crews? The guy who played the dad in anyways, somebody was talking about like nowadays, or people are like, you're supposed to eat this much protein, and but their argument is, well, I can't eat that much. And he was saying how, well, you can, but don't fill up on all your carbs and all your this and everything first. Like, we tend to have like a bunch of bread and cookies and sugar, things like that, and then be like, oh, well, I only have enough room for this much protein or whatever. And so I've started, I used to eat once a day, but that had to change with this new, trying to get my protein and everything in, because you can't have 177 grams of protein in one sitting. Like, it's probably not good for you. And so, and because being in a deficit, I was also starting to be hungry when I woke up, and I was like, I'm not going to sit here and wait all day to eat when you know what I mean? And so, started having like a small breakfast just to try to get my protein, and I was eating tuna every day, and I looked it up, and it was like, you probably shouldn't do that. And I knew that, but I was like, no, you have to, because what's it, mercury, like you get like mercury poisoning or something, so they say. And I've always heard that, but at what amount is too much, excuse me. Yeah, like, and so I was eating, like, they have cans, and I wasn't getting just one can. I was getting the can that has 3 servings in it, because it's like 50 grams of protein or something, and it's only like 210 calories. But I was getting those, and I was eating them every day. And my sister said something, well, you gotta be careful. And I was like, all right, I'll look it up. And it was like, you're only supposed to have like 3 servings per week max. And I was like, ew. I was like, all right, well, that really kind of stinks, because that's super easy way to get my protein. And like, I don't have to, like, I just open the can, you know what I mean? I open the can, I don't weigh. That's the only thing I don't weigh, because like, I know, you know what I mean? I'm eating the whole can. And so that changed, so that stinks. But yeah, it's just been kind of hard. So I switched from that to the egg makers, like egg whites, but that just doesn't have as much protein. And so like, I'm having to like take calories out of my only fun meal of the day, which was a bowl of cereal, as my snacky poo at night. I have to like cut that down so I have enough calories to eat my protein. Is this boring? I don't know. I really like nutrition and things like that. I was watching Sam Sulek earlier. He's cool. But yeah, trying to get my protein. Oh, so my point was, my protein stir, I didn't put milk in it, and I just put water in it, because basically it's relatively, the same thing, you know? And before, I wasn't even putting real milk in it. I put almond milk in it, unsweetened, so it's like 30 calories a serving. But I'm like, I'd rather have 30 calories of cereal, you know what I mean? 30 more calories of cereal. And so I tried it with water yesterday, and I only did 8 ounces of water, and it was thicker, and today I did 16. But like, I think some people would think that's gross. I don't think that's, you know what I don't like is when you're trying to find recipes to make like protein stuff or whatever, and people want to get on YouTube and just lie out their faces about something tasting good. You know what I mean? Like, I'll search for these recipes and whatever. Fine, I'll find one. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious. You can't even taste the protein powder in it. It's so good. You have to try it. Which doesn't make any sense, number one, because it's not like they get money from you trying it. It's not like, unless they're advertising a certain product, but, it's not like you can use your own protein powder. So, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you lying that it tastes good? Because, girl, it doesn't, you know? And some of that stuff, like, all those, like, xanthan gums and those stevia packs and, like, weird things like that are kind of expensive just for one recipe. You know what I mean? Like, I've done that one time. I think I learned my lesson. I was making, like, cupcakes or something. and protein cupcakes years ago, and I had to buy like xanthan gum, and you had to do all this like crazy scientific work to make these things come out. And I was in the kitchen for like an hour making this, and I tried them, and they like didn't turn out completely. Like they were a little runny. They didn't look like his, and they weren't very good. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't very good. And I've tried other things like trying like protein ice cream and things like that, and it just, you can still taste the protein. It just doesn't taste good. Now, that's only been a few things that I've tried, but why are people out here saying that it tastes good when it doesn't? You know what I mean? It just makes me never want to try another recipe again, because I'm like, well, because like protein powder has like a weird taste to it. Like I don't care what kind of powder you have, I don't care. It still has that weird, I can't really describe it, kind of taste. And so, yeah, my point is with my protein stir, it doesn't really taste good to me anyways. I mean, it's not gross. It's not like I have to hold my breath and drink it, but, you know, the only reason I'm drinking it is to get my protein in. It's not like I'm drinking it for some sweet treat at night. And I looked into I had this drink the other day, this like chocolate milk, and it's like protein whatever. On my walk, I was getting gum or something at the store. I do that sometimes when I'm on my walk and I need more gum, but I was in there. I was like, oh, this looks good. Let me try this. And it's like 190 calories, 30 grams of protein, but it was so delicious. But the problem with it, I don't remember, Irish Farms or something like that. And this, I'm just be serious, this actually tasted good. It didn't taste like protein powder. I don't know how I don't know how they get, oh my gosh, let me learn how to talk here. Um, I don't know how the companies that make like protein milk that's already made, like it's already in a bottle for you, just grab it and go. Those don't really taste like protein powder, at least not the ones I've tried. The one I had the other day, it was delicious, It was delicious. It was like super thick in a good way, and like didn't taste like protein powder, didn't taste chalky or anything. Like it was really good. So like how do they do that? Because like they should sell that formula or whatever, so people can buy it. Cuz it was really good, but the problem with it is I'm not a millionaire yet. When I am a millionaire, yeah, I will pay $2.75 for a chocolate milk every single day. Maybe 2 chocolate milks every single day, but I'm not a millionaire yet. With that being said, would you leave me a like and a comment and a subscribe? You know what I mean? Yeah, it was really good. I forget what my point to all of this was. Just that, like, protein powder is just gross, man. It's just gross. I've had a few different brands, and it's just not very good. And maybe it's the flavor I have right now is cookie, like chocolate cookie blast or something, because I bought it because I was trying to make ice cream, protein ice cream, and it was another one of those things where I'm like, these people are like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Literally follow the same exact recipe. It was not, oh my gosh, so good. It was okay. It was bearable. You know what I mean? Like, why can't we all just be honest? That really irks me. Like, why can't we just continue the video? Yeah, make the video and just say, man, this really wasn't very good. Like, is that not honesty not allowed anymore? Okay. But I mean, it's not gross. Anyways, so I have my protein stir here with water instead of almond milk, and then I'll have me a bowl of cereal later. The issue with that, I had to start being careful with eating so much right before I go to bed. But it's like, I'd rather save my calories. It helps me stay on track to wait, rather than eat my snack 4 hours before I go to bed. Then I have 4 hours and I'm like, well, I don't get to eat till tomorrow at whatever time. You know what I mean? So it's like easier for me to like an hour before bed or 2 hours before bed, which I know you're really not supposed to do. Apparently it's like pretty bad for you because you just won't sleep as good, I think. I think that's the point. And like maybe it probably doesn't digest as well because you're like sleep and your body's trying to like get energy or something. I don't know the science behind it. But I was like, that's probably not good to slam like 25 grams of protein and then another 25 and some egg whites right before you go to bed. I don't know, it just doesn't sound like healthy to me. You know what I mean? So I yeah, I'm like reworking my how I do my stuff, but man, sleep, I'm pretty tired. I forget what my point was with that. Talking about food and stuff. I don't know, am I boring you? How are you doing today? I genuinely do care about you. You know, I care about you, and I want the best for you. And if you're unhappy in life, let me spit some life advice, okay? I don't know you. I don't know what you're going through, but we only live once, okay? We get one life, and why not be happy? And some people, I notice a lot of people my age struggle. I'm 23. A lot of people my age, I feel like, struggle to find, like, well, I don't know what I want to do in life. Or I don't know what makes me happy. Like, they just don't know. Like, a lot of people have drive, but they don't know where they don't know where to drive to. You know what I mean? And so I feel like a lot of people just, that's how people get stuck into, like, a cycle of just working and not really doing much, which, if that's what you want, I see no problem with that. If that's like truly what you desire in your heart. But I don't want to lie to you and say that that's okay when I know you could have so much more. You know what I mean? So, but a lot of people my age, it's like people are like, well, I don't know where I want to go, or I don't know what I want in life. And I really think that that's not it. I don't think that's what it is. I think you do know what you want. If you just dug a little deeper. So, like, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing? If you had, I always use this. I always say, if you had an unlimited credit card, if you had people who would pick you up on a plane, if you had whatever, literally, if nothing was an issue, what would you do? What would you do with your time? You didn't have to go to work. If you have kids, somebody can care for your kids, or your kids can come with you, or whatever it is you want to do. What would you do? And like, and then, like, how do I say this? Like, for me, ever since I was a little kid, I loved to draw. Loved it. Like, I didn't really care about, I wasn't like I just loved to do it. I wasn't like obsessed with it. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to like make the best drawing ever in the world. Like, I didn't really have a goal. I just really liked to do it. And so, and that's what I would do to like escape whatever was going on around me. Like, I would go to the library. Little 10-year-old me or 9-year-old me, I'd go to the library, the public library, and get on a computer and look up YouTube videos on how to draw. And that's what I love to do. And when I look back on my childhood or whatever, or even my teenage years, like, I don't remember a lot of it, but what I do remember, you hear the air conditioner kicking on, sorry about that. I need a mic that like blurs that out or whatever, but what I do remember is drawing all the time. Like, that's just what I like to do. I loved listening to music, watching music videos, and drawing. And that's like where that's just what made me happy. And so ever since I was little, also since I was little, I've been like, I loved and was a little obsessed with how they make movies. Like, I loved watching when you get DVDs, they have the what are they called, like the extras or whatever. They have the extras in there, and then most of the time they put in there like how they made the movies, or interviews with the actors and actresses, and then they'll put like really just cool stuff. And I loved watching those. We would watch the commentaries for the movies, so that's when like the actors get on there and they watch the movie and then they talk about it as you're watching the movie. We would watch those multiple times. I've seen multiple different movies and TV shows commentaries multiple times. Like, it's just something I really loved ever since I was little. And there's also things since I was little that I thought was cool that other people did, but I just never thought that I could do that, or never considered myself doing that, or things like that. So I can almost bet you money that there is probably something that you like to do. Whether it's, I don't know, writing, or playing sports, or doing music, or acting, or I don't know. There's something. You know what I mean? You didn't just grow up and, I don't know, sit in a corner. Like, you did something with your time. You know what I mean? And I just think that people, I think somebody said that one time. You know, somebody was like, well, I don't know where I want to go. I don't know what I want to do. And I don't know if it just stuck or something, but it's like, you do know. You just need to know what questions to ask yourself. So, you know, it's like, and I feel so bad for people I guess this would have been years ago, like getting out of high school, who think that they have to do whatever their parents want them to do. I never understood that. And maybe I'm blessed in that way, to where just I'm such an independent person, and my upbringing made me way more independent. And I was just like, in my mind and who I am, nobody's going to tell me to do something that I don't want to do. And nobody's going to make me feel like I have to do something that I don't want to do, especially this day I turn 18. You know, like, that's just not happening. And so I guess I'm blessed in that way, but I feel I want to, like, just get it out there to people, like, dude, you don't have to listen to your parents. You know, if you're over 18, you're an adult. I moved out the day I turned 18, and it was amazing. Like, it was so freeing, and I didn't have to listen to anybody. I could make all my own choices, and it was awesome. And so I just wish everybody else, if you're like 18 or whatever, would just or even if you're older, man, there's people I know now, I'm 23, there's people that still think they have to listen to their parents. And no, I'm not saying disrespect your parents, and yes, please take their opinions and their thoughts into consideration, but you don't have to do what they say. This is your life, my friend. This is your life. It's not their life. It's not your sibling's life. It is your life. And at the end of the day, when you're old and gray, hey, I could write a poem. At the end of the day, when you're old and gray, it's your choices and decisions you made. It's nobody else. It's nobody else's fault that you are not where you want to be. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it was you who said, okay, I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do this, or whatever the thing is. But yeah, like, respect your parents, obviously, and consider what they have to say. Like, seriously, that's really important too. But I just hate when I see people doing stuff to please other people. It's ridiculous. It's your life, dude. It's your life. What makes you happy? And if you have to do a little soul searching to answer that question, then do that. You know, if you have to do a little digging and, like, figure out what questions to ask, I would just, ask yourself like, if there were no hurdles in the way, if you could literally do anything you wanted to do, career-wise or just bucket list item-wise, then go do that. Go do that. Go try to make it happen. Say yes and ask questions later. Figure it out later. Just say, I'm going to do it. And when you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't get into a habit of ever, it is so important. That's something I feel like people miss, and they just, like, shrug it off. Is, if you say you're going to do something, I don't care if it's just to yourself, if it's just in your head, but do it. Because every time that you tell yourself you're going to do something, you tell yourself you're going to go work out, you tell yourself you're going to start writing a book today, or start a YouTube channel today, every time that you say that and you don't do it, you're training your brain, and you're, like, giving yourself a way out. You're training yourself, saying, well, we don't actually mean what we say, or we don't actually have to do that, and you can bail yourself out later. That's why, and I try to be careful, even to myself. My opinion of myself is more important than what other people's opinions of me are. And so even to myself, I be careful what I say out loud. And I think about it first. Do I really want to say I'm gonna, I don't know, let's look, finish 5 books before the end of the year? Do I really want to say that? Is that something I can really do, you know? Think about it in my head. I have my list over there of my stuff that I want to do before the end of the year. And I was very careful about that list, because I want to make sure if I put something on there, I will make sure it happens. That's just who I am. I don't know where I got that from or how that was ingrained in me, but it's so important. It is so important. And so before I wrote, I'm going to finish 5 books by the end of the year. I made sure, okay, how are we going to get that done? Well, I need to make sure I'm reading at least 30 minutes every day. And, whatever. And I already have a book done, and I made that list like a week ago. And so, also, to be proud of yourself is so amazing. Like, maybe I'm talking to a certain age group here, which is fine, because, like, I feel like I've lived it. I can do that. But I don't know what age you are. But, I mean, it still applies. But, where was I going with that? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, just if you say you're going to do something, do it. Like, think about it. Make sure, like, figure out how you're going to do it, and then be like, okay, yep, I'm going to do that, and then do it. Because if you don't, it just leads to not good things. But, back to, doing what your parents want you to do, or going to college or whatever. It's just so sad, because, like, I don't know, I had a couple friends in high school that they were just so, like, torn between doing what they wanted to do and doing what their parents wanted them to do. And it just was heartbreaking for me to watch, because I'm like, it's your life. Like, if I could just stress anything to anybody, like, it's your life. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? These are your paths that you walk. These are the lives that you're going to help and you're going to affect, and, like, it's up to you. It's not up to anybody else. So just, like, go on your own way and just figure out what makes you happy. And hey, if you don't want to go to college right away, don't. I hated high school. Absolutely hated it. I don't know when it was I decided that I wasn't going, but it was probably pretty early on. It was never really in my thought of something that I would do. I was always like, I'm not going to college. I think it's a waste of money. If you're not going for the right reasons, it's a complete waste of money. I think a lot of people go out of high school because they don't know really what they want to do yet, and so they just kind of go. And I think all that does, if that's why you're going, it just prolongs the inevitable, which is having to figure out what you want to do with your life. And so you're going, how much do you go into debt when you go to college? Like, is it $30,000 a year? So you're going $120,000 in debt to prolong your decision by 4 years, to prolong the decision of what you want to do with your life. And maybe you figure it out in college, but lots of people change their majors. They change this, change that, which is also fine. I'm just saying, like, I just noticed, like, I think a lot of people do that, and it just prolongs, like, your inevitable choice to make. And I think if you're not going to college knowing what you want to do, knowing what you want to study, and for yourself, the fact that you want to go because you want to learn this thing and you want to get a degree in it and get a job and whatever, then I think maybe take a year, maybe take 2 years or something. Me personally, I didn't want to go to college then, but now I would like to go to school, and I'm not going to go yet. I'm not going to go until I have the money to do so, but I would like to go one day. And I'm gonna make that happen. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make that happen one day, and maybe I'll just try a couple classes. I was listening there for a minute while I drew to Stanford post their classes, and they have for like 15 years. They post a lot of classes, like the entire class, and I was working a class in biology and like reading the books in it and stuff, and so like just testing it out, and it just made me realize how much I love to learn. And high school was just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just it's like they take the most creative and, like, I don't know how to describe it, part of your life of being a kid, and they tell you to sit in a chair. And then once we're older, where we're like, okay, we'll sit in our chair. I don't know what I'm getting at, but yeah. Now, like, I'm like so excited about learning. If you're going to let me pick what I want to learn about, that's amazing. And of course I want to learn. Of course I want to keep going and see, like, learn languages and learn, like, crazy stuff that people don't really need to know, but, like, I want to know how it works, you know what I mean? And so I would like to go to college one day, but when I was in high school, I would have told you never in a million years would I go to college. It's stupid. And for then, if I would have went to college right out of high school, it would have been stupid. It would have been a waste of money for me because I wouldn't have known what I want to do. I wouldn't have been able to see, the things in life and all that stuff. Like, what, I don't know. There's just so much perspective that comes from I guess being 23 and just looking back and being so glad that I didn't do that. Hang on. Gotta get this protein down, but um yeah. So just, I don't know. And even if you're older, I just can't stress it enough. This is all we get. And there's just got to be something. Just look back. And I'm not you, and you're not standing in front of me, but I have so many people that I know that just aren't happy. You know what I mean? They're not reaching their full potential, and I just want so bad that for them. Like, just think, there has to be something you can think of that you've done before in life that you thought was cool, or maybe you've never done it. Maybe you've always thought it would be cool to play piano, but you just never thought that you were that type. And let me tell you something about learning new things that I've recently learned, because I just started to learn piano, like actually learn. I knew a few chords, here and there, and the basic shapes and everything, but I've been practicing every single day, the fundamentals and everything like that, and there's this feeling that comes along with it that I can't quite explain, but this like awareness of myself, I guess. My awareness of, I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing every single day, practicing for however long, every single day, no skips, no butts, no coconuts, whatever, that I could be amazing at this. And I realize that a lot of things aren't just talent. It's not that people are gifted or talented and God gave them these amazing gifts. It's like, yes, he does give amazing gifts, but a lot of things aren't like, it's just, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? That's just not how it works, and I realize that as I get older. I don't know if I think that because they told us that as kids or something. I just think that's a misconception, that people are like, oh, you're so gifted. And some people are, maybe, but you also don't see the thousands of hours that they put in behind the scenes. You're seeing them at like the peak of all these thousands of hours that they've put in practicing whatever it is that they're doing, singing or writing or whatever it is, I don't know, playing sports or whatever. You're seeing them at like the top, like if you're seeing them on, TV or whatever, or at a concert or something. Like, there's so much work that went in to that, and you can say it's talent all day long, but a lot of the times you can what is this thing I've heard, it's not, people are like, it's not that I was talented, it's just I had work ethic. And if you can keep grinding at something and not seeing results, that's how you get good at something. And so I've just became more aware of this thing in myself as I practice every day, as I'm learning these new things every day, and it's just really exciting. And also I noticed today, so I think I've been doing piano for literally like a week or something. I do this like exercise every day, and that's all I do for 30 minutes. I try to get, I forget what they call it, but like, because you have two hands, obviously, and you need your fingers to be able to work together and separately as one. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe you're laughing at me if you play piano, but so I just do this exercise where you just run your, like, go da 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 da. I don't know how to explain it. I know you can't see me, but it's just the same exercise, and I do it for 30 minutes in different ways, in different formats. I'm not like playing any song or anything, but I'm just trying to get my hands to understand that they can work together sometimes, and they need to work, each finger needs to work separately sometimes to be able to play whatever it is. And so, but after doing that, I was playing my guitar later, and I realized that something happened, even just having practiced piano. Then when I was playing my guitar, something happened between my hands. Like, all of a sudden, they were two separate things. And I know that sounds weird because, like, guitar, obviously, you're strumming with one hand, and then with your left hand, you're playing the notes or the chords or whatever. But something happened. I don't know. It's like something clicked for me, and I know it's because I was playing piano and teaching myself how to make them work together and work separately. But then when I was playing my guitar, they were working together, and then they were working separately. It was crazy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was just cool, okay? It was just cool. Um, yeah. I don't know. I just want people. I have such a passion for. I like to see people going after what makes them happy and realizing their potential and realizing what they were put on this earth to do and doing that. Nothing. It makes me so sad to watch people just living, not really doing anything with their lives. And again, if that's really what you want, okay. But I don't think that. People might think that's what they think they want, but it's not. Like, you're telling me if over here is I'll use me as an example. Is over here is every single thing I ever want to be and do. Let's just example. I'll say be an accomplished author and have like awards. I don't know what awards they give authors, but let's just say that's what I wanted. And you're telling me if it was right here, I didn't have to do anything to get it, but all of a sudden I could snap my fingers and my name would be everywhere. I'm this amazing author. I've written all these whatever, and I didn't have to do anything to get there. You're telling me that you wouldn't take that? And it's like, okay, well, you would. And so why don't we just work a little bit to get there? Like, and falling in love with the process too. Like, that's also what I'm learning. Like, and once you start doing that, it's like, I look forward to it. Like, I look forward to sitting down and playing 30 minutes of piano every day, even if it is the same da 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 that I'm playing or whatever. I look forward to practicing my sign language every day and reading my 30 minutes of my book every day and whatever. Like, I fall in love with this process of just developing myself, developing my brain, becoming smarter and all these things. It's not, because when I was younger, I used to think about it in the perspective of, how do I explain this? Like, to get myself through hard things, I would always be like, okay, well, it'll be over before you know it. It'll be over soon. Like, I'll be working out and be like, it's okay. Like, eventually this workout will be over. Eventually, whatever. And so that's how I would think. But I realized the problem with that is I think that's why I would be able to do something for a few months and then I would stop doing it. Because I was constantly telling myself, whatever it was, like, we're trying to lose weight, we're trying to get better at guitar, we're trying to whatever. Eventually, my brain is like, okay, well, you said we're going to be done with this eventually, you know what I mean? And so maybe that's why it, like, kind of tinkers off, and then just I would stop doing whatever the thing was to improve myself. And then I realized, like, now, okay, well, I want to be somebody who works out and goes to the gym the rest of my life. Like, I want to be healthy the rest of my life. And so maybe it's not so great to be telling myself, well, this isn't going to be forever. You know what I mean? We don't have to go work out every single day, or it's only going to be for a little while. We just got to get through this right now. It's like, maybe that's not healthy, because then my brain is going to be like, hey, you said this wasn't forever or whatever, And it's like that with whatever things that I like get interested in. But yeah, so changing my thinking there really helped me fall in love with the process and think, okay, we're going to be eating healthy forever. There's like, yeah, we'll have days, we'll go out with the family and eat out or whatever, but for the majority, the rest of my life, I want to be being healthy and eating healthy. I want to be going to the gym. I want to be constantly working on myself, reading books and all those things. And I really think that's the difference and a change in my perspective is, it is going to be forever. And so fall in love with that. And for some reason, for me, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but when things are hard, it makes me want to work harder. I don't know why, but like, I realized this a few years ago. It was like super hot outside one summer and I was walking every day. And I remember, this was in high school and my grandma was like, well, honey, you got to be careful walking in the heat. Like, you probably shouldn't go today because it's so hot. It was like 98 degrees or something like that. And I was like, no, I'll be fine, and I went anyways. And it's like, I don't know, like, it gave me so much more energy. It was so hot outside, but I was like, yeah, like, I'm sweating, like, this is great, like, this is amazing. Like, I felt so much better than I usually do on my walks or did or whatever. And like, I wanted to keep going. I was like, I could do another 2 miles, And so something about things being hard makes me want to work harder. I don't know what that is, but I guess I'm just blessed, I guess. I don't know. And so thinking that, like, no, I'm gonna do this the rest of my life makes it harder, and it turns up the heat, if you will. And so I'm like, well, if I'm gonna be doing this the rest of my life, I might as well, like, be good at it, or do it, to my max effort, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, that was some, like, cool revelation I had or whatever, and it's going good for me. But I hope, I pray, I wish that on other people. I wish that on you. I hope that you find what you really like to do in life. And if you're here on this drawing video, I mean, chances are you're probably drawing, You're probably drawing or doing something. Do you like to draw? I mean, do something with that. Start your own YouTube channel, whatever. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. I'm glad we have this heart to heart. Let's see, my phone's about to die, but dude, can we go off on a little side quest here? This phone really chaps my khakis because I got it. I had a 10XR before. I think I've had this phone for like 2, maybe 3 years, probably 2. And yeah, 2 years. And I had a 10XR before, and I was waiting to I was like, there's no point in getting a new phone until I absolutely can't use this one, the XR. And so, but eventually it like just basically crashed. It started running so slow, which, how convenient, right? It's like they do that on purpose or something. And so I was like, okay, well, I gotta get a new phone. So I waited, and I was like, you know what? If I'm getting a new phone, I'm just gonna get the newest phone out, and I don't care to spend the money, and then I'll keep this phone until it doesn't work anymore, just like I did the other one. And I don't know if the guy misheard me. I don't know. I went to a Verizon. Let me tell you, don't go to Verizon. I do not like Verizon. I do not like Verizon. The guy's rude. Anyways, so I did that, and I was like, I want the newest phone. I just want the newest phone. The lowest model of the newest phone. And I believe this is a 15. And I got it and everything, and I said I wanted a black one, and he brought me a green one, and I was just like, whatever, dude. All right. I'm paying $1,200 for a phone, and you can't get me the right color, but okay. And so the next day, they come out with the 16 or whatever. I was like, is this a joke? Like, you couldn't have told me that. And maybe I don't know. The way the story unfolded to me was because I was like, I think I was talking to my friend or something. And they were talking about a 16, and I was like, a 16? What do you mean? Or I saw a YouTube video or something of it. I don't know. And like the newest phone had came out the next day. Like, bro could have told me that. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't he tell me that? If anything, I guess maybe he wouldn't have made a sale, but like, I would have came back. I don't know. Something that irritates me. But my point is, so this is a 10 something. My phone is a 10 something. Or I mean, sorry, a 15 something. And it is absolutely awful. My 10XR was better than this phone. The processor is so slow in this phone. The battery life is awful. It takes I use my phone for not very long, and all of a sudden I have to charge again. It's a constant battle going through the day, like keeping my phone charged. And especially because I film my videos with my phone, and then I film my audio whatever with my phone, and then I use my phone to track it's literally like I use it for everything, so I feel like I constantly have to keep it on the charger. A little irritating, but it is whatever. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'll buy a new phone one day. But yeah, it's really awful. I'll do some more research next time. Lesson learned. Yeah. So what else do I want to talk about? I went to the fair. It was funny. I thought the fair was over. I thought it had already happened, and I was like, oh man, the fair. It's just like one of those things that it's like happening in town, but I'm like, it's like a town over, actually, 15 minutes away, but I'm like, oh yeah, and then you just kind of never go. Let me tell you why I don't like the fair. Okay? Now, this was a few years ago in high school. Me and my friend, we went to the fair, and we were both working. We had dough to spend, and I'm a very I want to know the prices of things. You know, I'm like not just going to blow money on stupid crap just because like I like to know where my money's going. And so we're playing games or whatever, and we go to this one game. I think it was like a balloon dart game or something. There's no sign, there's no nothing telling you the prices. And I don't know. I think I was the one playing. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll play this game or whatever." There's no sign telling me how much whatever it is. And I throw some and I didn't make it, or we were trying to get like a huge prize or something like that, something silly, something crazy. And you know how you can like trade a prize in and then hit like three more darts or something, and then you'll get the next prize, and you trade the medium prize in, and you'll get the it was like that. That's what we were trying to do. And so, dude, at the end of it, I'm not kidding you. I think this guy was like we got it, and immediately his demeanor like changed. He was like, "That'll be $120." I said, "Huh?" And he was like, "Yep, and there's an ATM right there." I was like, I'm like in high school, okay? I'm like sophomore. I don't know how old you are when you're like 16 when you're a sophomore. I was like, I don't have $120 or whatever it was. And he was like, well, there's an ATM right over there, because I think I had like $60 on me. And I was like, what do you, as a kid now, I'd be like, no. Here's your little stuffed animal back, dude. I'm not giving you no $120. But like, isn't that ridiculous? I don't know how much the game was, but like, how can you legally, if anything else, how can you legally have a game? And then what made it even worse is the whole time he was like being like flirty, which was like kind of gross because you're like 60 years old, dude, and I'm 16 years old, but whatever. And he's like, "Oh yeah, like, trying to get you to like buy more whatevers." And I'm like, "We're just trying to get the stuffed animal, dude, like chill." And he's like, "Oh yeah, wow, you guys doing good," and like just being all weird and everything. And yeah, and so like immediately when he needed his money, he was like, "No, there's an ATM right over there." Like, just it's just disgusting. I like just ugh, just gross, really. That was just gross. And so being young kids, we didn't know what else to do. We were like, what, the cops are gonna come get us if we don't give him his money, when he really cheated us out of it anyways. But we went and got him his money out of an ATM at the fair, man. Like, that's not good in itself. But luckily my mom was there, and later she came over and she was like, I told her what happened, because it just made me like, it's like one of those things like in my soul, like in my chest, like I could feel like it was just like not right. That was not okay. But I just like didn't know what to do. I was like, well, I guess I don't know what I thought, like if they call the cops or something, or I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just thought that I had to pay him. And so, yeah, it was stupid. And my mom was like, what? She was like, no. She was like, no, 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 no. And she went, I guess there's people that like, I guess it makes sense, they like put the fair on or whatever, whoever like runs it or something like that. I don't know who it is, but they put it all together. They have like a little booth or a little tent out there, and she was like, come here. And we went over to the booth or something and told them what happened, and they were like, what? And so I don't actually even remember what happened. Was like the first however many tries when we were playing the game, he was like, oh, it's this much money. And we were like, okay. And like we paid him once, and then I think we were like, well, we still want to like try to get and then that's after that, like he stopped. He was waiting till we were done to like take our money or something, and he was like, you owe me like this much more. And I don't know if it was the 120 or whatever. This was years ago, but it was something stupid. And so it mixed me up for how much we actually owed him. And so we were telling the fair people this. We're like, I said, there's no sign up. He said, he just kept handing me darts. And then at the end, he said that I owed him $120. And they were like, and they went over there and confronted him. I guess they made him put a sign up and whatever. And they got me some of my money back. But he lied, and he told them that it wasn't 120. It was only like $60 or something. And so he took that money and pocketed it. And it's just gross, honestly. Like, you're making money off some, 16-year-old girl who, by the way, makes $8 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wrong. And so ever since then, me and my friend were like, girl, don't ever ask me to go back to the fair. We are not going to the fair. No, it was just like, it was embarrassing for us, number one, at least for me. I don't know about her. It was a little embarrassing. and just left a bad taste in our mouths. I was like, I don't want to do that again. And so since then, we were just kind of like, yeah, boycotting the fair. But I mean, that was, oh my gosh, that was like sophomore. Yeah, that was like 6, 7 years ago. I don't know. I'm not, it's too late to be doing math, but it was a while ago. But so my grandma asked me the other day if I wanted to go with them, and it's a good thing I did. People don't realize. So my grandpa, he's handicapped. He's in a wheelchair. He can't talk, walk, move, and so he's in a wheelchair. And people don't realize how stuff says accessible, but it's really not. Especially like an old fairground, and I think people underestimate the he's in a wheelchair. We're pushing him, right? And my grandma is older, and it's hard for her to push him, I don't know, up bumps and whatever, things like that. And so I don't know, even just like a like 2-inch bump, something like trying to go into the old people booths, as I call them, where they set up all the tents and stuff, and people like give their business cards and stuff. We were trying to go into all those, and they just all have like bumps, so I'd have to completely turn him around and lift him up over the bump, which doesn't sound like a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot, and it's really not. But for my grandmother, who is almost 70 years old, it's a lot. And I think I think people just don't think about it. We were talking about it. I was like, I understand, like, they're just not considering, and, but I don't know. It would just be nice because, but my point was, it's a good thing she invited me to go with her, because I think they would have had to go home. She couldn't have even pushed him up that first hill there because there's like gravel and stuff. And also, like, people just, yeah, people just don't understand, I think, what it is. Because, like, they'll, like, walk in front or, like, just stop. And then I'm, like, about to run into you with my, I don't know. It's weird. But, no, we had fun. We walked around the old people booths, as I call them. And it's so funny getting older how when we were kids, we did not, we were, like, it was like going to, what's that one store? The orange Home Depot. When we were little, it's like going to Home Depot. It's just boring. Like, we don't want to do it. But now I'm like, I love going to Home Depot. Let's see all the projects we can make and things like that. It's like going to the fair, going to the old people booths. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Why do we want to? We want to go play all the games and go to the food place and whatever and see our friends and stuff like that. But now the first thing I said we're going to the old people booths. And they're like, yeah. And you guys gonna get your yardsticks and stuff? Like, that's just, if you're from, like, if you're from country, do they have like fairs and stuff in like California and things like that? We should look that up. But yeah, if like, the fair it's a big deal. I'm in Indiana, and the fair is a very big deal. But it was fun, and yeah, there was a lot of people there, a lot of picking my grandpa up and pushing him and whatever, but it's fine. And then we ate, well, they ate, because I'm in my calorie thingy. They ate, and then we went to we couldn't believe this. We always, at least you gotta play the bowling game, okay? There's this game, if you don't know, and I actually don't know if it has a name, or I don't know what the name is of it. We just call it the bowling game. And the idea is, you take a bowling ball, and they're like these tracks, and you have to get the ball over the track, but it has to stay over there, and it can't come back on your side. There's like a little hump in the middle of the thing, and so you have to get it over there without it coming back. And like, there's a whole science behind it, but they're only a quarter. Okay, you put a quarter in there, and then bam, you get the bowling ball, and like, it takes precision and practice or whatever. But we love that game. We always go there, spend a bunch of quarters. It's super fun. And we walked around the whole thing, could not find it anywhere. I was like, well, hang on. And I asked the guy, and he was like, no, we don't have it anymore. I'm like, how do you get rid of? Maybe that was just my family kind of thing, but I felt like it was always, like, that game, I don't know, there was probably 10 lanes, maybe like 12 or 15 lanes, like, and they were always full. Like, people were always waiting to play them. And I feel, because it's only a quarter. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how can you pass that up? And my grandma said, well, maybe it's because they're only a quarter and they didn't make that much money. And I'm guessing that it's probably really heavy to be hauling that, and so maybe it didn't make up for it in money or whatever. I don't know. It was just a bum. If I wasn't going to go into the fair before, I probably definitely won't go again without the bowling game. it was just sad, you know. But yeah, so we had fun. We had fun at the fair. Another thing is I just watched a new movie, and I want to keep this updated as to my reviews of movies. So, the movie is called Ordinary Angels. I believe 2021. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at the stuff right now, but it's this true story. Actually, it actually happened, and I believe it was in Kentucky, where it happened at years ago. But it was about this little girl. Oh well, I can give that away. Yeah, the mom dies, and then this little girl struggles with she needs a kidney or something. She has some disease or something. I don't really think they said, but the whole movie's about them like going under the with all the medical bills and everything expenses. Like the mom died, and she had all the I don't know if she had cancer. I don't remember exactly what, but they were trying to fix it obviously. So they had thousands of dollars in debt fixing that, and then the little girl needed medical stuff too or whatever. And so it's about it was pretty good. I feel a little unfair sometimes ranking these movies because one of two things will happen when I watch. I don't just sit down and like watch a full movie. Although the other night I did do that. I think I sat down and watched Rocky, and I wasn't doing anything. But sometimes what will happen is I will sit down while I'm eating and I'll watch something, but it only takes me 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to eat, and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna go on my walk and do all my stuff. Like I don't want to sit here and waste my time watching a movie. So I'll watch like 15 or 20 minutes of something, and then it's done. And then the next day, I'll bring it back up and I'll start where I left off. So it takes me a few days to watch a movie sometimes, if I'm not watching it when I'm drawing, because that's the other thing. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I'll watch it, and then I can watch a full movie, but I'm not watching the screen. I'm watching my paper and listening to it. So I mean, just take that in consideration with my rating the movies, but it was pretty good. Now, what would I rate it out of 10? Out of 10. Trying to remember. I think it took me 3 days to watch, 3 or 4 days to watch, with a break in the middle. But it was the. You should watch the trailer of it and see if you want to watch it, because it was pretty good, and the ending it like started off like okay, and then it's like all right. The ending was super good though, super sweet. I think because it was a true story, it was just one of those like strangers helping strangers kind of thing that was just so sweet, and like it's just really like touching story. And I don't know, I'd probably say I'd give it a good 6 out of 10. And it had this story in it that it was, for me, it's like a synchronicity or whatever, it's like a coincidence, but not really. Nothing's a coincidence. I heard this story when I was little. I don't remember where I heard it. I think it was church or something, about the starfish. And if you don't know, the story of the starfish is this little boy is walking up the beach, and there's all these starfish that wash up on the shore, and he was grabbing each one of them and throwing them back in the water, because if you don't, like, they'll dry up or whatever, they'll die, but for a little while they're still alive. And so he was picking up all these starfish and he was throwing them back in the water, and old man, the story probably didn't really happen, but whatever, this old man comes up to him and he's like, why are you doing that? You're never going to be able to save them all. And he was like, yeah, but it meant something to that one, and threw one in, and he picked another one up, and that one, and threw that one in, and that one, and like kept doing that. And so in the past year, that story has been something in my mind, just not really like paying attention to it, but I've noticed that it like pops up a lot. And I went to this like conference thing, this like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like a Jesus conference, I guess. Like, you're just we're learning about the gifts of the Spirit and things like that. And anyways, after 2 days of teaching for like hours every day, like 8 hours both days in a row, this lady who taught the class, it wasn't a course, it was free, but like whatever it is she was teaching, like she was teaching the gifts of the Spirit. And after teaching all day and being tired or whatever, being away from her family, there was I don't know, probably 30 people there. And she sat up a chair and she said, everybody make a line. And she sat and gave prophetic words to every single person there. And I was just watching that and I was like, in it just made my heart so full because she's just so tired or whatever, and I could just try to imagine like what her life is like. I mean, I don't know, but it was just so amazing and so inspiring that like just it reminded me when I saw that of that story of the, it mattered to that one person, and that prophetic word mattered to that one person, and the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, you know what I mean? And like, if you've ever gotten a prophetic word, or if you don't know what it is, it's basically like prophecy. It's like somebody telling you from God, because God is telling them this is going to happen. And since she's giving it to like each individual, she's saying like, this is going to happen in your life. You're going to do this. This is going to happen and you're going to change this, or whatever it is. Everybody's literally different, but it's directly from God through the person. And then they're telling you like what it is it's so inspiring. Like, I remember I saw a video of a man who is a seer, and his name is Micah Turnbow, and he has a lot of controversy. Well, he doesn't. Other people seem to have a problem with him, controversy, because they're like, because he says like he's been to heaven and he's seen these things and he's seen Jesus and blah blah blah, and people are jealous is what it is, and they don't understand, and they think, oh well, that's weird, and they don't understand it. And so rather than trying to understand, yeah, I could really go on a whole thing about that, about how unfair people are just because they don't understand something. But anyways, I think it was a vision he had, or something, but he said he was, I don't want to get it wrong, but like it's important to the story. Like prophecy, what prophecy is they were walking, him and Jesus, or maybe God, I don't remember, were walking along, and there was a field of flowers, and I'll just say it was Jesus. Jesus bent down, and he when he bent down to it, the flower like opened up, and like was looked all beautiful and blossomed or whatever. Maybe he breathed on it or something like that. I don't remember. And but he told Micah, he was like, this is what prophecy is, and how it just like opens somebody's spirit. Like, just imagine, if you've never experienced anything like this, imagine if I told you you are going to be a world-class and famous race car driver, and maybe that's for somebody. That's what you're going to do. And you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You've never met me before. You don't know anything about me. We're not friends. Like, whatever happened, like God wanted to give you this prophetic word. You're going to be a race car driver one day. But I didn't know, but like, since you were a little kid, you raced cars with your dad, and you went to college and whatever, studied race cars or whatever. And it's like, nobody could have known that about you. Nobody could have known that about you. And so like, that has to be from God, and like all these things line up, and then later you remember, like, and then he's like still connecting dots even after they gave you the prophetic word or whatever. But yeah, prophetic words are super amazing. It's super cool when they're actually from God, like when you can trust the people or whatever. But like, it's like breathing life into somebody. How inspirational that is to receive that gift from God. And my point is that she was doing that for every single person there. There could have been 100 people there, and I know she still would have. It's not like she just said a quick word. No, every word was about 10 minutes long, and there were 30 people there. Okay, so like, and I know like it doesn't matter how many people were there, she would have kept going. And so it reminded me of the story with the starfish. And so my point is, at the end of this movie, Ordinary Angels, I was watching, they're reading, there's a scene, one of the ladies and the little girl who needs a new liver or kidney, I forget which one, they're reading the starfish story, and it just made me like tear up a little bit, because like, it's just so sweet. And that story has been like I said, I heard it when I was little, and it kind of just pops in my brain here and there. And then I was reminded of it again at that seminar thingy. And then like, it was just reminded of again tonight. And I said I want to get a tattoo of a starfish, because it's just so, for me, like, I really feel that heavily. I don't care if all I ever did in life was give one person, like, help one person understand who Jesus is, or help one person, like, I don't care if all I ever did was something for one person. My life will have been completely worth it, you know? If all I ever did was, yeah, you see what I mean? Like, I don't care if or what I would have gone this one time when I was in California. I talked to this homeless man, and just our interaction and my experience with him, it wasn't anything like grand or whatever. But I said, I don't care if that's the only reason I went to all the way to California. I don't care if it was just for that one man that needed somebody to tell him that they loved him, and that he was worth something. I don't care if that's the only reason I went there. I will do it a million more times, just for the one person. I don't care if I have to go all the way again and just there's one person there. I will always do that for the one person. And if that's all my life was helping one person, that's enough for me. That makes me so happy. And obviously I want to help lots of people, but if I only ever reached one person, like I'm so happy with that, and I will go for the one person a million times. And that's like what Jesus is about. Like, he leaves the 99 or whatever, like a shepherd leaves the 99 sheep to go after the one. Like, it just makes me so happy to do that, and I will do that any day of the week. I will go for one person. I will make an entire video for one person if they'll get it, or even if they don't get it, maybe they'll remember it and later on they'll go, or whatever. You get what I'm getting at. And so the fact that I watched that and the story of the starfish was in there, I was just like, oh my gosh, I was like tearing up a little bit. But I want to get a tattoo of a starfish somewhere, on my nature sleeve, because I got a spider web, a rose, a snake. I want to get a starfish somewhere. I'm trying to like figure out the way I want it. And I thought that before, but I mean, because I know if I have that, it'll just be a reminder that, sometimes he wants me to do stuff that's like, you don't understand it, like he'll want me to go talk to somebody, or he'll want me to do something, and I'm like, what? You don't really want to do it or whatever, but like, you have no idea what, like he knows what's best. If he's telling me to go talk to somebody, like, dude, just go talk to him. But it's hard sometimes. And so it's hard sometimes to get over that human fear of like, well, what if, all the what ifs. But if I have a tattoo, like a nice reminder, I think it'd be sweet. And I don't know, I would just love a tattoo of that. I gotta figure out the placement and everything, but yeah. And it's funny too, because last time I was in the tattoo shop, that's where I had my art at. I just felt how God felt for the tattoo artist in there that I was talking to. Like, he just loved him so much, and I could feel that as I was standing there talking to the guy. And so I want to go in there and talk to him about God and see what he thinks about it. Maybe tell him the story or something. So that'd be cool. Hey, that'd be a cool video, me going and getting a tattoo. Yeah, let's see. We got 1 minute left. But yeah, I don't know if you enjoyed this or not. I hope you did. Surely if you're still here, you did. We didn't even talk about the drawing. I really like the pink pen. But yeah, this is a drawing. I thought it was pretty cool. It's a little flat for me. I need to work on my depth perception and everything. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a good time sitting and chatting with me. Thanks for sitting down and chatting with me. And please leave me a like, okay? I'm begging. Leave me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next draw with me. I hope you have a blessed night, a fantastic day. You're going to have an amazing day tomorrow. You're going to have an amazing day cleaning your house or whatever it is you're doing, or drawing, and your drawing looks amazing. I mean, you just really are so cool. And don't ever let anybody convince you that you're not, even yourself, because you're pretty cool, okay? All right. That's it. I'm going to go eat my cereal now. All right. Love you. Bye.